Hey everyone, how are you? So it's really interesting that we've started a generator channel here because it's something I've been wanting to do. I probably should have done at the very beginning of this entire podcast journey, but I finally got around to it a couple of years later. And I wanted to launch this today. Listen, there's not going to be like circus animals or balloons or any kind of really super funky graphics or anything. This is essentially a test of going live because while I've been doing Generator for a while now, it's time to start to elevate it. So if you're here and you don't know who I am, let's see, can I get any of this going? You're going to watch all the technical mistakes. I'm going to share everything with you because I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying. So, for example, I've got all these key commands, right? And I'm trying to do graphics and I'm trying to up my production value because you guys actually deserve it. Now, for the past couple of years, I've been running Generator. It was born out of the end of the Artist Forge. If you remember during COVID, myself and Kat Ford Coates, Nicole York, Bassam Sabah, many others were on the Artist Forge every day on Clubhouse. And we did that podcast, daily for like a year and a half. I've got all these archives. And I realized that I loved doing that sort of real, raw discussion. And these were the conversations that weren't being heard anywhere else. So when the Artist Forge finally kind of ran its course, and we all just got way too busy after the pandemic to really contribute on a daily basis, I said, I want to get back into this. I've been doing podcasts since the late 90s, believe it or not. I've been doing some level of internet radio or television or voiceovers or something with a microphone in front of me for years. And I wanted to get back into it. So I started Generator. Now, because I run Stone Tree Creative full time and I have all of that already set up as a brand, I thought, I have no idea how long Generator is going to last. I'm going to throw it under Stone Tree and put it on the YouTube channel at Stone Tree and put up a couple of blog posts and so on and so forth, see where it goes. And I was doing episodes about, I don't know, once a month, something to that effect. And it was very much fits and starts over the past couple of years where I'd drop an episode, maybe 2 or 3 in a row, and then there'd be nothing for 4 or 5 months. Really inconsistent. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a workflow. I didn't have a studio that I was happy with. I didn't have anything. And if you go back and watch all of the original episodes, episode 1 with Nina Covington or 2 with Erica Manning, you'll see just how poor the quality was. And someone that has autism and ADHD and OCD and all the neurological issues, there are certain production standards that I like to have. So I wanted to do a podcast that talked about things in the creative world that wasn't just gear specific. It wasn't just business specific. I wanted to have interesting people on and then just have the conversation like we'd be having in the backyard. And that's the best part of it, is that over the years, as I've learned to get back into the groove as an interviewer and start to educate some folks on how to be a better guest, we've developed this really cool following. And 50 episodes in, this is becoming a thing. So over the past couple of months, it's been gnawing at me that Generator didn't have its own home for all the podcast episodes. I've really always wanted to do lives. I've wanted to do more education in this space, in podcasting and video production and all the stuff. And I've been wanting to do that for years, but never really got myself collected enough to put it in place. So essentially what this is going to be is not only a house for all of the episodes, right? All of the Generator episodes you can find on Apple or Spotify or anywhere you find your podcast, the audio versions. But the video versions are there as well in case you want to see the guests, see the interaction that we have, and be able to watch some of these amazing artists, some of these amazing thinkers, business owners, creators, see what they look like, really get a feel for their personality that sometimes you just don't get in the audio. But I also wanted a place where I could talk to you directly, right? You guys have made this way more than I ever imagined. And I want to be able to talk directly to you. I get quite a bit of questions, either through emails or text, asking about podcast gear and how do they start this and what camera do I use and what mic do I use and all that. And I've created a podcasting course, and I was going to release it, and then I didn't really like the way that I did it. So I said, why don't I just release chapter by chapter, module by module, one at a time, do a lot of live interaction, and let people talk to me and ask questions live about what it is that they want to do. So in setting all this up, my brain really started to turn about all the things that I can do here. And what it means for anything existing right now. All of the stuff that is on the StoneTree YouTube channel has been uploaded to the Generator Podcast YouTube channel. So all the episodes that I've ever recorded are there already. They're uploaded. They've got all the descriptions, all the links, all the guests. On the StoneTree side, right, YouTube doesn't make it easy to move videos from one channel to another, even if you own both channels. So I had to re-upload everything. What it means on the StoneTree side and all the existing links that are out there, all the stuff that might be in blog posts or on websites, I'm going to leave those as they are and leave them just unlisted. I don't want to lose the analytics. I don't want to lose the views. And all I'm going to do is hide them from view on the StoneTree channel. That way, if anybody goes to any of those older links, they can still access the material directly. But going forward, everything new is going to be housed on the Generator Podcast YouTube channel. It's pretty simple. This isn't like a major shift. There's no real format changes, anything like that. We're just trying to separate the brands of StoneTree and Generator. Why? Because quite frankly, they're a little bit too intertwined. When I was doing corporate work, I worked for Cisco Systems for a lot of years. I did mergers and acquisitions for them. I did some business architecture. I was in IT. I was in HR, but primarily in the mergers and acquisition space. And I found that over the years, after doing 50, 60 different acquisitions, that the brands that were very clear in their messaging and didn't conflate all their products, and they were the ones that did better. And I found that under StoneTree, I want StoneTree to be my portrait photography, my fine art, my personal branding, some of my photography education. I don't want it to be a house for the podcast. That way, if StoneTree ever goes away, if I ever close a studio, if I get hit by a bus, whatnot, the Generator stuff, the podcast, is on its own separate platform. I think separating out brands like that is important when they get to a certain size, right? Obviously, over the past couple of years, I've been conflating the two brands. Everybody knows me as StoneTree Creative and then also under the Generator Podcast label. So it's been good to be able to have people recognize me for both. But as they grow, for example, if I were to take StoneTree, get some associates, and I'm not really managing that business day to day like I used to, then I want to concentrate on Generator, then it's, it doesn't look like I'm leaving one business and getting into another. Does that make sense? I think it does. I think it's clear. I'm probably beating this dead horse. All right. So what I wanted to do, especially with this channel, is start taking some masks off, right? So when I do an interview, I tend to be a little bit more formal. I tend to be a little bit more pointed, but I want our interaction, you and me. Come here. I want this to be for you and me, right? I want to be able to give you kind of like my unfettered opinions live, so you get to know a little bit more of me behind the scenes rather than just what you hear on the podcast. So what I'll wind up doing is a lot more lives like this. And I'd love to hear from you as if this content is going to work or not, or if you just wanted me to say, hey, Matt, just stay behind the mic and do your interviews. That's what you're good at. I don't know. It's a big experiment. But the cool thing about starting a YouTube channel like this from the get-go, including you every bit of the way, is that we see it grow from 1 subscriber, which was the Stone Tree account, to whatever it becomes. And I wanted to run this experiment because as I do more lives and stories and reels, I want to show what consistency and discipline and decent content does, right? So you're going to be along this journey with me every bit of the way. You're going to see all the behind the scenes. You're going to get insight to how I do this. And this is something that I haven't been able to provide under the Stone Tree brand because I didn't want to mix the two. They've got 2 different voices and I want them to remain that way. So I think it's going to be cool. I hope it succeeds, right? We're so far, like people are saying, oh my God, you're going to get YouTube money. That's not the way this works, right? The way that YouTube works, in case you didn't know, is that when you start a channel like this, you've got to get to 1,000 subscribers and you've got to have one of certain criteria. And one of those is like 4,000 watch hours on the content. We're so far away from that at this point that all I can do is ask you for help in spreading the word, getting people out there. If you see an episode, share it, send a short, that sort of thing. But I'm doing this for longevity's sake. This isn't a fly-by-night, I'm going to do a live here or there. I've already got my calendar scheduled out for the next several months. And I want to build something here that builds a little bit of community around Generator. A lot of the podcasts that I listen to, the ones that I love, the ones that really get me, are the ones that are not too polished, that have a little bit of imperfection in them. And if you know me, I'm nothing but a big bag of imperfections. And I'm cool with that because I think that's just part of who I am, right? I've reached this age where there are just zero given anymore, right? So first and foremost, what I'd love you to do, if you happen to be watching this, I'm going to see if this will work. I would love you to like and subscribe what we're doing, because a lot of the algorithm is going to either serve me to you or it's not, right? It is what it is. And I want to be able to give you weird transitions like that. All right. This is a perfect space. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, right? So here is my podcast studio, right? This is a room in my house. And you can see I've got a light here and there's a bigger light up here. That's my key light. I've got shit everywhere. I'm running my mic through a Rodecaster. I've got an Akai APC 40 running some of like production board. It's my poor man Stream Deck. I've got stuff everywhere and I'm running the Ecamm software. But what I like is being able to zoom in, zoom out, do these sorts of things with the camera, the teleprompter that I've got. All of this is imperfect. So as I start to learn how to up the production value here a little bit, for example, we're just talking updates right now. I'm going to try to bring you a better quality broadcast than I normally do. So I need you to bear with me. And I also want to know what you want to see, right? If there's something that I'm doing or if you want me to expand more, just drop me a note. Just drop something in the comments. All right. So that's generally why we're here. And I just wanted to thank you, right? So 20 minutes of my rambling and I just wanted to thank you for all of that. Let's talk a little bit about mental health. It is June, which means it's Men's Mental Health Month. And if you're a follower of Generator, you'll understand that I've been putting out weekly episodes for the past couple of months. And I love putting out the weekly episode. It's a great process, keeps things consistent. It keeps the growth happening. And I love being able to deliver a consistent product. But you'll notice that I haven't dropped an episode in a couple of weeks. The reason being, my mental health was not doing so great. And in my opinion, and I kind of take this from the National Mental Health Awareness, is it the Mental Health Awareness Association? Basically, a little tagline is it's not weak to speak. And I have no problem talking about kind of all the weirdness in my head. I think it's really important to open up, be a little bit vulnerable about what we're going through. Why, as solo business owners, freelancers, artists, whatever, it can get really overwhelming. I am not talking about the politics of the world. I'm not talking about daily drama on the internet. That's for other podcasts and other people to think about. I am not going to sit here and opine on those things. What I did want to do was just let you know that what you see is never perfect. And I really have had a hard time over the past probably 2 or 3 months, but it came to a head over the past couple of weeks where I just shut down. I couldn't do anything. Really had a hard time interacting with clients, had a real hard time finishing anything, no motivation. And what I needed was time off. People that are closest to me have seen me burn out before. And it's out of this desperation to grow and succeed and be ambitious. And I wasn't hitting the other side of the seesaw, which was taking care of myself, my health, my sleep, exercise, right? Playing with the dog, just relaxing a little bit. I would sit here longer and longer and say, I can do more. I can do more. I can do more. And it never really works out that way. So I just wanted to talk about that because I started to analyze it and I realized that my ego, the thing that is supposed to protect me, has been really running out of control lately. A lot of competitive thoughts, a lot of comparison, a lot of why am I not succeeding the way that I want to? What am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? I must suck at what I'm doing. No one's ever going to watch this. No one's going to listen. No one cares about me. I'm just an old guy that's run his course in this world. Really negative shit. And while I was never necessarily in any physical danger, the mental energy that it takes to pull yourself out of bed every day is exhausting, right? It starts to take a toll physically. And I just wanted people to understand that no matter what you see on the internet, no matter how many times I'm out there and I'm going, oh, everything is great, everything's fantastic. How's business? Oh, awesome. It's unbelievable. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not, but I'm putting on a mask so that no one worries, right? It's the performative art that we go through as people on social media. And I hate it. I just hate it. It's why I really dislike being on any level of social media. Ironic because we're here, right? But I think it's very destructive mentally. And while I preach all day, get off your phone, get outside, hug a tree, take a walk in the grass, all that stuff, I don't often follow my own advice. So I really started to crash about a week ago. Had to reach out to some good friends and tell them about it because I think if I didn't, the thoughts would just continue to spiral and run in the head. So I just want to thank the folks that I did get in touch with. You know who you are. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thanks for being there. Because sometimes we just need someone at the other end of the line, whether it's through text or on the phone. We just want somebody there to hear us. That's all we need. And that was really it. I needed to be able to take the thoughts, express them to somebody else, and get a little bit of feedback that it's going to pass, right? All the advice that I give to everybody else, it's going to pass. Work your way through it, relax, deep breaths, right? Get outside. But I needed to hear all that myself. So thank you to everybody. So with it being June being Men's Mental Health Month, I really wanted to talk about that a little bit because I struggle with it day in and day out. Some days are better than others, but it's always just progress forward, right? All we're trying to do is make little incremental steps forward towards peace. So hopefully if you're feeling in any of that way, that tomorrow will probably be better. Probably. Might still suck, but there's another day after that. Just keep taking those steps forward. So that was that. All right. So let's talk a little bit about this channel. Again, it is at Generator Podcast. It's going to be the new home for everything that I do. And I want you to come along on this journey with me. Now, I don't know where this is going to go, but I've committed myself to it at least the rest of the year of doing a couple of things. I'm going to be doing, wrong one, a live schedule, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So think of it as kind of like starting your day with Matt, a little bit of coffee, some topics. Sometimes these lives will be 10 minutes long. Sometimes they'll be an hour long. It's going to depend on the topic and how many people are in the room. But unless I'm putting out content consistently, what hope does any of this have? So I want to be able to provide enough of an insight to what I do to accompany the episodes, and then also give you guys some education to see if you're interested in running your own podcast. And to that end, you just saw it, I've also launched a Patreon. One of the things that I have a really hard time with is podcasts that, they're littered with ads. Whenever that sponsorship becomes a huge part of the show, inevitably, unless you're a really large personality and call the shots, inevitably there's some level of corporate oversight. Inevitably there's some level of, hey, we'd love to sponsor you, but you talk about X, Y, and Z. I didn't really want that. Yes, I have ads in my episode. Typically, it's for my own businesses or something like 17 Hats, where I'm an ambassador for 17 Hats. So I believe in the product. I want to put that out. But I wanted to start a Patreon channel because I love maintaining that independence for Generator. In order for me to put out a product that I think is honest and authentic and has the conversations that you guys have asked me for, I want as little oversight in that process as possible. That doesn't mean I won't take sponsor money. But what I am saying is I would rather work with you as a crowd and have you fund what I need to keep this going and keep it relatively ad-free, rather than having ad after ad for sleep number beds and, little blue pills and things like that. I want to keep this relatively independent because I think that is the spirit of what Generator is, right? I'm bringing on people that have started their own business, that are creating things, that are thinking in different ways. And I want to bring that to you kind of unfiltered, uncensored, and without that thing in the back of your mind saying, he's not really being real. He's wearing that mask again. It's been very important for me to start taking off some of these masks and speaking my mind. So the Patreon has been launched. It's out there. Again, it's at Generator Podcast. And there's basically 3 tiers to it. And I put 3 tiers in, right? Patreon, if you've never started one, suggests like 1 tier, maybe 2. I put 3 in, here's why. First one is $5. I call that the signal boost. And really what that tier is buying me a cup of coffee. It's walking by saying, hey, that's really cool. Keep making the episodes. And it's like $1 an episode. Think of it that way. Second tier up is the interviewer's chair. So that's $10 a month. And what that gets you is obviously all the episodes. It shows a little gratitude for me keeping this thing going. And then it's also going to give you a little bit more behind the scenes. It's going to give you advanced access to some of the materials that I'm putting out, especially with the book that's in process called Speak Less, Get More. It's all about interviewing techniques that I've written. I'm just going through the editing process on that now. You'll get advanced copies of that. You'll get a little bit of extended episodes with some of the guests. You'll get more of the behind the scenes. You'll get how I do what I do. And I think that'll be really interesting. Is it going to be a daily update? Absolutely not. But it will give you more access to the things that I'm doing behind the scenes. The third tier is a big one, and it's only limited to 10 people. It's $200 a month, and that is what I'm calling the producer's room. And the producer's room is basically one-on-one mentoring on all of this stuff. So for $200 a month, you get all of those things in the other tiers, but you also get an hour a month with me to work through your podcast setup, to work through anything that you're trying to do to develop a show, anything that you want to learn about video editing or production, really anything you want related to podcasting and video. You can get one of those memberships month over month, and we'll meet for an hour in a month. It's usually an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and I'll answer all of your questions. I want people to have direct access to me so that I don't feel like I'm gatekeeping anything. This is not hard, and this is not a magic science. It's just hard work and a lot of education. So let me help you. Those are the 3 tiers. If you support me, fantastic. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. I wanted to put it out there and hopefully maintain a little bit of that independence for Generator. So Patreon, again, is at there it is, Generator Podcast. And you see me messing with the production board. It's because I'm still getting used to how I've programmed everything. Okay. Now, one of the last things that I've done, some of you also know me for my third business, Cyanide Bunker. Now, Cyanide Bunker is a metalsmithing company that I started with a friend of mine, Amanda, and it was all handcrafted bracelets. It's silver and brass and copper, and everything is handmade down to the rivets. We do everything here in the U.S. We make everything. It's all U.S.-based materials, and then everything is made in-house right here in Maine. Loved that. We started it during the pandemic, and it's run its course. It just has. It's become another one of those things that was causing me too much stress to really maintain well. We weren't growing it. We weren't marketing it. While the products are amazing and you guys have been incredibly supportive over the years, we just found that it was taking more from us than we were giving it. And that just starts to feel weird. So while it's still a viable business and I wish someone could take it over, we're just going to kind of ride it off into the sunset. So at the end of June, anything on cyanidebunker.com will stop being sold. If you have anything that you did purchase from us over the years, all you have to do is send an email to cyanidebunker@gmail.com and we'll get you squared away. We're always going to support the customers that bought from us. We are always going to honor the warranty. Just get in touch with us, cyanidebunker@gmail. Okay, so that's been it. Now, I was supposed to, in doing this, that's all the formal stuff. Now let's talk a little bit. So in all of this, I was supposed to be doing all sorts of cool transitions. Watch this. Isn't that cool? So I'm trying to make sure that I get all my buttons and topics and everything set up right, because I can just kind of go through here and talk about all of these different topics and then shut it off. I can bring you in super close. I can zoom you out. I can even zoom way back out, right? I want to be able to do things that keep you entertained and up the production value. That's it. I'm glad you guys joined me. I wanted to kick off the channel. I wanted to give you back stories to what's been going on. I wanted to give you insight why there isn't an episode this week, and there hasn't been one for the past couple of weeks, but I'm back on the production schedule. So next Friday is when the next episode will be coming out. And that's going to be with Corinda Kinsler. And she is an amazing woman. I met her at WPPI. She does education on how to get your business back in shape. She is a photographer. She's an author. Incredible interview. I really can't wait for you to listen to that. That'll be coming out next week. I believe that's the 27th. Between now and then, I'll be doing 2 more lives next Tuesday and then possibly on Wednesday. And then once the podcasts resume, I'll be doing lives every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So all that being said, again, I will ask you one more time, spread the word, like and subscribe. This is the new home for the Generator Podcast on YouTube. You can always get all of the audio episodes at generatorpodcast.com. The guests recently have been amazing. I'm really feeling humbled with how many people are asking me to be on, and I could not do any of this without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you all for your support. It means the absolute world to me. So I'm going to sign off for now. Check it out. Send me comments. Let me know what you think. And we're going to grow this whole thing together. Okay. Again, started with 1 subscriber. Let's see where we can get to over the next month and where we can get to by the end of the year. And I'll put all that information out there for you so you understand what goes into this. All right. Thanks again, y'all. And let's see if I can end this clearly. I don't know. Have a great time, guys. I'll talk to you soon.